Welcome everybody to Funeral Nation episode 126. I'm Ryan Thargmartin. That is Jeff, the funeral commander Harbison. And Jeff, we are on the dawn week before, as you say, the funeral profession Super Bowl, NFDA.
It is. It's exciting. Everybody, all eyes are focused on Salt Lake City. So we're headed out that way. That's going to be an interesting trip. But yeah, it's exciting. In fact, today's guest, we've got Christine Pepper, the CEO of NFDA. She's going to be with us here in just a few minutes. And so one of the things I think is going to be fun, we talk about it in the interview, but there's going to be a lot of social media going on, right? A lot of live stuff. The technology's changed. So we want to let all of our effing fans know that aren't going to be there. We're going to try to bring NFDA to you. So stay tuned into the Funeral Nation Facebook page. We're going to do a live show with all of our sponsors, which are, we've got Jamie from C&J. We've got Sirius Chan from Sitch, and we're going to have someone from Live Oak Bank.
That's right.
So all three of those, we're going to have a live show on Tuesday, I believe it is, or if it's not live, we're going to post it on Tuesday with all of our sponsors together talking about what's going on there at the show. And I can assure you we're also going to bring out some new things that we see that work or don't work. You can count on, if you can't go to the show and if you can't go to the expo, watch Funeral Nation.
That's right. Follow us. We'll show you new urns.
Yeah. There could be a new one. You just never know. But that's exciting. That's really the gist of what's going on. I think it'd be important let's go ahead and run this interview we have with Christine, and then we'll finish up at the end. Christine, welcome back to the Funeral Nation show.
Thank you, Jeff. It's a pleasure to be back.
It's excited to have you here with us. It's a big week coming up. There's a lot of people that know you, but would you please reintroduce yourself and what you do there with NFDA?
Sure, absolutely. I'm Christine Pepper, and I'm the CEO of the National Funeral Directors Association.
Well, the NFDA convention and expos next week in Salt Lake City, is there a theme or something proposed different for this session coming up?
Actually, I appreciate you asking that, because this year it is, I would say, very different than in past years. This year, the theme, as we kind of looked at what we were looking at doing, the theme that came together is storytelling. And we believe storytelling is so important in what funeral directors do. So we have a lot of components within the convention that talks about storytelling, that introduces storytelling to funeral directors. So it really is woven throughout our workshops, our keynote speakers, some of our events that we're having. So I would say that would be the main theme.
Very cool. So what are some of the things that attendees are going to find different about this year's expo?
So the expo or the convention, are you talking about both?
Both.
Sure. So I would say on the expo floor, one of the things that we're really excited about is an area called Pause for Pause, PAUSE for PAWS. And as you probably both know, a lot of funeral directors are using therapy dogs in their funeral homes. And so we thought, what a better way for funeral directors to interact with some of these grief dogs and talk to some of the trainers that actually go through and train these dogs to become the compassionate, bedside, if you will, at a funeral home. So I believe there's going to be 3 or 4 dogs. So you're going to see a lot of therapy dogs, and I think that area will be kind of the hub of the expo floor.
Cool. Right. It's exciting. It's showing how we're evolving. I think this is the first time, at least the way it sounds, that we'll have that sort of venture off, is becoming more popular. So, I actually have a friend that's a flight attendant, and she said that someone recently tried to get on a plane with a therapy donkey. So, anyway,
I've heard of a therapy peacock, too.
Yeah. So it's exciting. I have read about a lot and see your headline speakers or our headline speakers. Would you share some about those? That's very exciting.
Sure, absolutely. We're very, very excited to have former lady Laura Bush, and she will be coming in on Monday. And I've actually had the pleasure of hearing her and President Bush speak, and they are the most genuine individuals I've ever heard. And the banter that they have back and forth is just unbelievable. I never knew that about the two of them. But I think she's going to really talk about her life in the White House and what that meant to her and her family. I'm sure she's going to be just, I think our audience will really, really enjoy her personally and her sense of humor.
Awesome.
And Rudy Giuliani, I mean, what more can I say other than he, the reason we actually chose him is because of 9/11 and all the work that funeral directors did during that time. And obviously he was the mayor during that time. So he's going to talk about, lessons learned, leadership as it relates specifically back to 9/11. So I'm very excited to hear him talk about that and how it really brought this nation together.
That's awesome. That's exciting. I think that's a great lineup.
Yeah.
Should be good. All right. So technology seems to be more of a focus with conferences across the globe. How is NFDA going to give attendees more access to technology, social media experience? What are some of those activities?
Sure. Absolutely, Ryan. Well, first off, I can tell you that we've actually hired a full-time social media person back at the office. So from the
Awesome.
Association perspective, we have actually invested just in one person that's all they do day in and day out, because as you said, this is so critical to the lifeblood of any organization, whether it be an association or even a funeral home. And I think that's where funeral homes need to understand and learn more about what they can do in connecting with their communities through their social media. So one of the things that we've had the last few years is our app, the convention app. So I would definitely recommend everybody downloading that. It's available for free. Pretty much all the same typical things that you find on an app, but there's opportunities for people that want to have maybe a little bit more fun with it and do a photo scavenger hunt. And we have a leaderboard to see who's out there competing. If you're as competitive as me, and I know there are people out there, I'm sure we'll see a lot of posts using the hashtag NFDA 2018. We'll get you on all of our social media sites. One of the new things, Ryan, this year is that we are going paperless. Believe it or not, up until now, we've still handed out handouts at workshops. Mm-hmm. So all the PowerPoints will be available within the app. Cool. I was just at a conference myself a couple months ago, and that feature was available. And I found myself not only going through the PowerPoint slides as the presentation was happening, but you're able to make notes and, to me, it was a much more interactive workshop because I had access to those notes.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to think what else is on the app. Obviously, the expo floor is definitely on there. So if you want to, if there are certain exhibitors that you absolutely want to visit, you can actually bookmark them. And then in your bookmarks, you'll actually get a listing of who it is that you want to go see. So I think the app is definitely what you.
I have it right here. We got to use the app, folks.
Awesome, absolutely. And we also have our social media lounge again, and I want to thank Homesteaders and Ryan Disrupt Media for sponsoring that again, because I think again it just shows it's that kind of that cornerstone of the association that says, you know what, social media is important. And as a funeral director, funeral home owner, you need to invest in social media for yourself and your business, because that's the way people are finding you.
That's right. It's interesting. If you think about 10 years ago, we didn't talk about this at all. We didn't talk about dogs. We didn't think we actually have an app on a phone for a funeral convention. So,
exactly.
welcome to the 21st century. It's awesome.
Exactly. One of the other things that we have new this year is our Remembering a Life area. It's actually going to be in a whole different part of the convention center. And in there, there's going to be a theater to, we've got some short films that we're going to be showing. I'll talk a little bit, probably more about that in a little bit, but it's a place to have consumers go to learn about their options as it relates to funerals and to connect them with an NFDA member funeral home. So
Cool.
that'll be a huge portion of the convention as well.
That's awesome. You're the CEO of the world's largest organization of funeral professionals. So from your perspective, and we're going to ask the converse question lately or shortly, what are the largest challenges from your perspective that we're facing right now?
Well, let me say, Jeff, that I see the challenges as an opportunity. So I'll probably answer both of your questions right off the bat, because I always see, just personally in my life, I see every challenge as an opportunity. And I think that's probably one of the most difficult things for people to do, is that they see something changing and they see that as a challenge instead of looking at it as an opportunity.
Right.
And as you just said, what we experienced and what we had 10 years ago is not what we have today, and not what we're experiencing, but probably more importantly, what consumers want from funeral directors and what they're looking for in their own funeral or end of life service. And so I think funeral directors have to be open. They have to be open to change. They have to be open to thinking about a grief dog. They have to be open to thinking about maybe taking a funeral back home. Maybe somebody wants to have it in their living room. Maybe they can facilitate that. So I think it's really providing options. And, I think I've said this for many, many years. It's providing consumers with the education, the information, and the options available to them so that they can make the best decision for themselves and their family. And I think funeral directors obviously are the natural people to help them do that and to provide those. And I think now it's a matter of the funeral directors opening up their minds and seeing that as an opportunity. Because, we just did our NFDA consumer or our member survey, and the number one challenge that funeral directors said was cremation. And, how long has cremation been around? So,
that's I agree with you. It's not a challenge, it's an opportunity. That goes back to exactly what you were saying. And frankly, we're the ones in the profession that really makes the outcome of cremation. So therefore, rather than circling the wagons, we can't circle the wagons and shoot inward. We need to circle the wagon and shoot out.
Absolutely. So I would encourage people that come to the NFDA convention in Salt Lake City to come with an open mind and, listen to the people that you're meeting. We have people from over 34 countries who will be in Salt Lake City. They do funerals a little bit differently than we do here in the United States. We can learn from them just as well as they can learn from us. So I think it's a matter of just kind of being present when you're here and just, taking it all in. And I guess probably more importantly is when you leave here is go back home and do something different. Yeah. Take one thing and try to implement something, because that's a challenge for all of us. We all go to different conferences and workshops, and we all get back home and we get busy and you forget about what you've learned. And before you know it, a year's passed and it's like, I haven't done anything with this great information. So, I would just challenge everybody to, make that commitment and do something with the information.
You're right. Well, let's come to our lightning round, which is always fun. I think on your first one, we didn't invent this. So Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. What's the best vacation spot?
A beach.
A beach. All right.
I would say my beach would be Abergee Key in Belize. I've gone many years.
Playing around.
Yeah, totally unplug and do nothing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the most fun NFDA event in your opinion?
I would say it's the leadership conference, because you've got the opportunity to have fun. It's a combination of fun and working hard and meeting with people from all over the country and exchanging ideas, but it's in a really casual, relaxed atmosphere.
All right. That's a good one. We had to put that note there. Next question. If someone depicted you in a movie, who would that actress be? Or actor, I guess. We can't say anymore as an actress. Who would that person be?
That was a hard one. I don't know if there's, I would say Meryl Streep. I think she's very, I like some of the roles she's played. She's pretty direct. So I'd say Meryl Streep.
All right, good. I can see that. Speaking of celebrities, who's your celebrity crush? We ask everybody. We've had some really strange answers. So.
Yes, we have.
I'm sure you have. Well, it hasn't changed probably in over 20 years. So it's Richard Gere.
Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Strapping old man.
I say.
Officer and a gentleman.
Exactly.
The man. All right, last one is, what's your favorite cocktail?
My favorite cocktail is a red Zinfandel wine or a mojito if I'm on the beach.
I got it. At that secluded place out in nowhere where you're totally unplugged.
Exactly.
Well, Christine, we're big supporters, as you well know, of NFDA and what you're doing and your team. This is our Super Bowl for everybody. You're the commissioner coming in, so this is it, and we're excited to be there. And we did start, I think, 122 shows ago. You were one of our first guests, so we appreciate you supporting us. And of course, we'd love for you to say, "Hey, you know what? I really like this effing show."
You mean the Funeral Nation show?
Yeah, that's it.
I love the Funeral Nation show.
Awesome.
There you go. We've had more fun with people saying that. They're like, Funeral Nation show.
That's right.
No, and I want to thank Jeff, you and Ryan. You guys have, as you said, huge supporters, not only for NFDA, but for funeral service. And thank you for helping to get the word out. It's going to be an awesome time for those of you that come out to Salt Lake City. It's just going to be one of those cities where the people that come say, "Oh my gosh, why didn't more people come?"
Yeah.
Because they missed out. So I look forward to seeing both of you here.
Awesome.
Right,
Thank you.
We'll see you sometime shortly. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Safe travel. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome interview. What gets you and I both excited, one, is that Christine and NFDA love the Funeral Nation show. You heard it, and you heard it back on episode 4. So she was a believer from the beginning when a lot of people were scratching their head about what this thing's going to be, and it's really become a staple. It's cool. It's fun. I'm so glad that she comes on and is willing to get really candid with us, which is nice to have in the leader of the largest funeral organization in the world.
Well, I think a takeaway for me that I really liked was her sharing that cremation's not the biggest issue in our business. It's really the professionals and all of us within the business. That's the biggest issue.
That's right.
So it's I think they're on the right path. There are some things that are going to be exciting and new with technology and the dogs. But the bottom line is we have to look outward instead of continuing to look inward because it's simply not working.
It's got to do better.
Go ahead.
It's got to do better.
That's it.
Gotta do better.
There's that change thing, but whatever. So we're going to see you, I guess, Sunday night. We'll be there. Yep. We'll have Josh. We'll get to do some live shots. Please, folks, if you're not going to be at the convention, we're going to bring it to you. So stay tuned into Funeral Nation on Facebook. We'll pop up. You'll see us. If you don't see us live, you can watch us recorded. So it'll be interesting. And I think we got some. I know for you, you've got some new bling coming in.
I do. Got a whole new wardrobe of tricked out clothes. And next week, we'll be rolling out kind of a behind the scenes brand look at how my clothes are made. And I interview the company that makes the clothes and the hats out in California. So be kind of cool.
Yeah, I might have to do something soon with my hairstylist and rum and cigar factories. And by the way, I will have those there. Not quite sure we're going to be able to do it, but you can bet I'll have them.
That's right. And you can watch, if you want to see, if you're going to be there and you want to be a part of Funeral Nation live. So that, we've never done this before where we shoot a whole episode actually live physically in a location. So you and I, Tuesday morning, 11 o'clock before the show opens, we'll be in the social media lounge right outside the expo hall. And we're just going to shoot a Facebook Live episode of Funeral Nation. We'll have some fun guests. You may be drinking, probably not smoking, but probably drinking.
They picked out at better places, so we'll see.
It'll be fun. But you know what? Like, man, 126 episodes in. It's become a staple. It's become expected. And people all over the world, over 200 countries, professionals are watching the Funeral Nation show. So it's a big deal.
Right. So if you're not in Utah, you need to be with us. And again, Tuesday morning, if you're in Utah and you're at Salt Lake City, Tuesday morning, 10:30 a.m. outside, come in. We'll get you on the show. You can ask questions. We'll have live stuff. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Completely off the cuff. No scripts. Whatever happens, happens. If you're a heckler, please show up and get in the front. Please. Get in the front.
If you're a heckler and you're that one guy,
yeah, come and tell us why you hate us.
Please introduce yourself. I'm looking forward to you.
Oh, we got some. All right, buddy. Hey, I'll see you in like 5 days or something like that.
If that. And you and your family and crew travel safe. We'll see you, Bob.
Same to you. Take care.